With the release of Fresh Start Worlds just around the corner, today I wanted to make a video covering the top 3 ways to make money on day 1. But before we kick off the video, I don't feel like you can talk about any early game money making methods when it comes to starting out on fresh accounts without mentioning the Stronghold of Security. Obviously, the Stronghold isn't actually a moneymaker, but it is the freest 10k you can get on any new account. And considering these are all going to be brand new accounts, here is your reminder to set up your authenticator before you go to loot that first chest. But with that reminder out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our top 3 moneymakers. To kick the video off, we're going to start with Temporos. And the only requirement you need to take on Temporos is 35 fishing. Not to mention, one really nice thing about this boss, it is actually very beginner friendly. It's a no damage skilling boss, so you don't have to worry about dying or bringing in food. And it's probably the fastest method that you can get started out of any of these top 3 we're going to mention. Now when it comes to how you're going to make money doing Temporos, the loot you're really looking for is the casket. Caskets have a 1 in 20 rarity from the reward pool. And these caskets have quite a few different rewards, ranging from a ton of jewelry, quite a few pieces of rune armor, some gems, a few bars, and even pure cash drops. Obviously, some of these drops are vastly better than others, like picking up 5 rune kite shields would be quite a substantial haul from one casket. But regardless, unless you happen to get pretty unlucky, you're most likely going to be picking up a decent chunk of change each casket you do receive. But moving on to our second money-making method, we have Wintertot. Another skilling boss that is great for making money, but this one comes with a little bit more risk. The only requirement for Wintertot is 50 fire making, but it is also recommended to have 4 pieces of worn clothing. And by far the 4 easiest pieces to get are the Clue Hunter outfit. And I'll go ahead and throw a link down in the description below to the location of all 4 of those pieces. So if you do decide to take the Wintertot route, feel free to pull up that link whenever you need it. But there are a few important things to mention when it comes to Wintertot. One is that this is a dangerous boss in comparison to Temporos, so at this boss you can die, and it is recommended to stay as low HP as possible. So it would be best to stay 10 HP if you choose this method, because then you only have to deal with taking 1s each time you get hit, rather than taking something higher if you have higher HP. You will need a little bit of food when it comes to doing Wintertot, but a very easy and very reliable source of food as a 10 HP account is cakes, and you can thieve these yourself in Arty with only 5 thieving. And another thing I'd recommend is you spend 1k of your 10 from the Stronghold of Security on purchasing a house, because this will allow you to get some free extra construction XP along the way. But now for the best aspect of Wintertot, and that is the loot. Not only does Wintertot offer a decent chunk of just pure cash, but it also offers a massive variety of starting supplies. You can pick up raw food, you can pick up seeds, herbs, ores, gems, or even some logs. And if you do just happen to want pure cash, you can very easily sell all of these starting supplies to another player, but it is also a very good base to kickstart a bunch of different stats on your account. Therefore, if you're looking for both a combination of good starting cash and supplies, Wintertot is by far your best method. And in addition to those basic drops, if you do happen to get very lucky and pull a 1 in 1000 drop, you have a chance of picking the Tome of Fire up. I also forgot to mention that earlier when it came to Temporos, because you could also pick up the Tomb of Water. Realistically, there's not going to be a ton of GP in the game to sell them early on, but if you were up for it, you could probably sell them for a good bit of cash on the main game. But now for our third and final top moneymaker for day 1 of the new Fresh Start servers, we have the Agility Pyramid. And the only requirement to scale up the Agility Pyramid is 30 agility, but I would highly recommend not doing it with anything lower than 40. But outside of the agility requirement, a few other items you'll want to wear are the desert robes, and you also want to have a little bit of food and some water skins in your inventory. And one very important thing to note about the agility pyramid is whenever you do fail obstacles, they have the ability to hit you upwards of 10 damage. So if this is the method you want to go down to make your day 1 GP, you will need to get 11 HP before you take on this method, unless you want to be at the risk of constantly getting one banged and have to deal with the entire banking and regearing process. Apart from that though, I would consider the agility pyramid to be the best pure cash day 1 moneymaker. Realistically, the other methods have the ability to make you more money with a little bit better RNG, but this method completely removes the RNG aspect. Every single time you're able to successfully scale the pyramid and pick off the top, it is a guaranteed 10k cash. And with that, and in my opinion, those are the top 3 day 1 moneymakers for the new Fresh Start Worlds. Obviously, there are plenty of other methods you could very easily use to make a decent chunk of change on day 1, but these are the 3 I feel top the list. And then finally, before we end off the video, I did have one bonus money making method, and that method is collecting ecumenical keys. And if you're familiar with the method, ecumenical keys are a very good pure cash method, but the reason it didn't make the top 3 was because the big emphasis of this video was being day 1 money making methods. And in comparison to a league or deadman season without any XP multiplier, it is very difficult to access ecumenical keys in only 1 day playtime. In order to effectively complete the ecumenical key money making method, you would need 60 strength or agility, you would need at least 1 of each god item, and 55 magic in order to high out the keys. Definitely obtainable in just a few days playtime, but not realistic to include as a day 1 moneymaker. That'll do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, consider dropping a like. It massively helps me out. Let me know down in the comments below whether you do plan on playing the old school Fresh Start Worlds, and if you do, what you plan on doing. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.